Let's get it. City Boy Music Group, LLC, City Boy Music Management, City Boy Music Group podcast, non-wear clothing and apparel. Those are just a few brands that I own. Founder, CEO, Jay Sway. What's good, y'all? Let's get into this webinar. Yes, sir. Let's get it. Jay Sway. Copyrights. What are copyrights? Copyrights are basically a form of protection that protects you as the author or the producer, the songwriter. What is the significance of a copyright? Copyrights are needed on all levels. For example, let's say you have the right form of protecting your music. Is what you do is you send it to Washington, D.C. You got your forms, you got your uspto.gov, you got your long form, and you got your short form. Yeah, it's going to cost you anywhere from 45 to 50. Well, that's when I had done it. These days, it may cost you around $80, depending if you do about 10 songs. Back in the day, they used to have you do them individually, but everybody got smarter and they started recording. They started sending copyrights in 5, 10 at a time. So nowadays you can do them 10 at a time. So copyright your works. Now, how do you actually set it up? You've got your long format and you got your short form. It's online digitally, or you have actual PDF form, which is basically a piece of paper. And what you would do is you would fill that out. You have synonymous, anonymous, you write that down, you write your birth, your date of birth, the title of your song. Like, for instance, let's say if my song was entitled Bounce It, Shake It, Twerk It, you would have Bounce It, Shake It, Twerk It as one title. The other title would be Make That Thing Bounce, just to back up, just in case if that particular work was already copywritten or title of the song was copywritten, you don't want to infringe on somebody else's copyright or someone saying, oh, well, you stole my song or this or that, So you want to definitely cover that. What is publishing? What is publishing, or what is a publisher? Publishing is the money that's guaranteed to a producer, the songwriter, and basically, when you're in that studio and you are recording, the first thing that you want to do when you're meeting up with someone is basically have your split sheet. A split sheet is definitely the key. A split sheet is definitely the key. You would want to have a split sheet for everything that you do. It basically keeps track of your work and everything that you've done. So you don't want to be shorted on that. Your split sheet says that if you ever have to go to court and you need proof showing that the works are yours or the song is yours, or you're entitled to 50% of something or a certain percentage, depending on how many writers or producers actually came together and collaborated. It's very important that when you fill that split sheet out, that everyone's signature is on that split sheet on each paper. That everyone's the actual date of the recording, all of this is very important. So therefore that protects you. Now you have also other individual companies, like for instance, you yourself as a songwriter, a singer-songwriter, producer, when you build your company with like BMI, when you sign on as a songwriter, also sign on as a publisher. So you have BMI, CSAC, ASCAP, and in the UK or overseas, it's basically called a PRS, but basically it's the same comparison as a PRO in the United States. So what is important is if you built up a great reputation and you're getting a nice little buzz and you actually looking to sign a publishing deal with someone else, you know, as far as like someone, they have more connections, they have more connections to TV, film, movies and things of that nature, and they're actually going to pay you a royalty on a percentage for a small percentage of your publishing, then you can go with someone like that. Now, they have companies like Royalty Distribution, which is an independent company. Is a good one to go with. And then you also have Song Trust. A lot of people talk about Song Trust. Now, the Royalty Distribution, they're going to, you submit everything to them, and they'll actually charge you less than Song Trust will. They'll charge you like 15%. And Song Trust, they'll charge you like 10%, and then Song Trust will charge you like 15%. So, but here's the thing: what do the actual publishers do? The publishers collect your royalties, not just your mechanical royalties overseas. But keep this in mind: mechanical royalties are not just stretched to overseas. Mechanical royalties are actually in the United States as well. So you can collect mechanical royalties on every level, every platform that your music is played. Let's say, for instance, there's a Tidal, DistroKid, Sound Exchange. Excuse me, not Sound Exchange, but other SoundCloud. There's so many different independent, so many different platforms. 9. Like so. So what you would do is you would basically line everything up to where it's protecting you as a writer, but also at the same time, you have to make sure you have an understanding of what you're doing before you submit. Now, keep in mind, just as when you sign up with BMI, ASCAP, or CSAC, you have an ISWR number, and then you also have like an ITI number. So therefore, when you go into your forms like Nielsen SoundScan, Sound Exchange, any of those platforms of those nature, even Song Trust, all of your information, even Reverb Nation or something like that, all your information has to line up correctly, and you definitely want to make sure you have that. So therefore, you know, your money's not being held up. You know, your money get thrown into a black pot, and you don't actually receive your money. You know, the money that's owed to you. Now, BMI. What is a PRO? BMI, ASCAP, CSAC, or PRS, which is overseas, which I was explaining. What BMI does, or what these PROs, what they do is they're just collecting the royalties as far as the writer, you know, the songwriting royalties, you know, and then as far as publishing is concerned, BMI can't, you know, collect your publishing. They're collecting a different type of royalty. And That's why you have to have everything lined up. You have to have your Nielsen lined up, your BDS. You got to make sure everything is on point, so therefore you can actually receive the money that's owed to you. Song trust, digital royalty distribution. Digital royalty distribution is an independent company, and they do good work, but they basically do everything. They actually do everything that Song Trust does, probably more, for less the price. They'll charge you 10%. Song Trust will charge you 15%. Basically, through Song Trust, they'll charge you a one-time fee. Let's say, for instance, if you signed on as an artist, or if you sign on as a label, you pay $100, and you have, that's as an artist. But if you sign on as a label as well, they'll give you up to like 5 to 10 artists. So each time you bring an artist under you as that label, there's a particular fee. When do they pay out? Payouts are, well, it takes up to 9 months for Song Trust to reach out and really collect your mechanicals. That's why your ISW, ISR, and your ITI, all those numbers have to be correct, even when you sign up to them, because they have no way of tracking your songs, tracking your catalog, tracking your material that you put out. And that's on a that's in the United States as well as overseas. So Song Trust, digital royalty distribution, 2 really strong companies to go with. That will definitely make sure that you get your money. And also keep this in mind too. If you're BMI, ASCAP, CSAC, or anyone like that, Song Trust and digital royalty distribution, these companies actually reach out to those particular companies like BMI, ASCAP, CSAC. Let's say if you didn't receive that payout, or that payment was late, or something happened. These are the type of companies that says, hold on, something's wrong. If you don't have the understanding of actually reaching out and bringing that money, collecting that money, then you need to hire someone that does that. Because if you don't collect that money in time, that money goes into that black pot, and that black box, basically that pot, and whoever are the hottest selling artists of that particular year, the top selling artists of that year, believe it or not, your money goes right into that pot. It goes right into that pot, and they distribute that money individually between each person that was basically topping the charts. So that's what happens to your money. You need to stay on top of that. Mechanical royalties. Mechanical royalties, to get more in depth and detail, you have sync licensing, you have song placements. Song placements meaning like your song is placed into a movie, a film, a video game, a commercial, even radio shows, TV shows. I mean, it's nothing to basically have an understanding, but you have to know who to reach out to, who to step to next. You have to, it's like connecting the dots. You have to know the important people, to take that next step when it comes to this business side. I mean, you just have to know it. So studying, I tell independent artists all the time, you have to study. You really got to research. You need to know what a copyright is. What a trademark is. You need to know about Song Trust, Sound Exchange, Nielsen. You got to know about all of these companies, research these companies, find out more about them, have an understanding of who they are. The first couple of books that I ever got was the Musician's Atlas, and that book paid off. And then I got Copyrights, Patents, and Trademarks for Dummies. And then I got a book on like publishing. It was like Jason Bloom's book on publishing, and they give you the entire breakdown. And as an independent artist, the light goes on. You begin to actually say, "Oh, well, as an artist, since I'm the artist, I'm also the songwriter. And if you're the producer, I mean, you're all of those. You're all of those. So it makes you figure it out. Like you should actually form your own company. And we'll get into that later. What steps to actually take? What steps to actually take to form your own company? Nielsen SoundScan. Who's Nielsen? Nielsen SoundScan, what they basically do is they have a system. It's basically a digital tracking system that stretches. It's a worldwide system. And if you're on a indie label, small label, large label, whatever, if there's an artist that put out a song, his information is lined up correctly to all the avenues. He took every proper step through the label or individually, took every proper step. Then Nielsen should be able to find your work. All right. So when a PRO says that, or a radio station says that you only had a certain amount of spins, well, Nielsen SoundScan clears all of that up. And then there's also another one called Digital Tracker. Digital Tracker will let you know, honestly, if that radio station is legit or not, because Digital Tracker, they cover like 15,000 plus different radio stations, independent, college radio, mainstream, major radio. So, all you have to do basically is go onto that particular website, type in your artist name or type in the title of the song or just the artist name. The information pops up. So let's say you're backtracking and you're making sure that all of that stuff is lining up correct. And you know that you just did all this press. You just had radio press. You just had PR, you've been pushing, you've been hitting podcasts, you've been consistent for months. So, that should definitely pop up then. If not, that radio station is not legit. It's not it's not a credible station. If they say they're licensed and your information doesn't pop up, man, you might want to go somewhere else. Then you have, let's say, for instance, when you're setting all of this up with Nielsen, keep in mind it's also free of charge. So there's a lot of these services out here that are actually free of charge. That's why I tell artists, if you're going to come and work with me, here's information. I'm going to give you this information. This is free information. You first must be lined up and signed up with a PRO, BMI, ASCAP, CSAC, or PRS. You have to sign up Nielsen SoundScan. I'll walk you through if need be, but you have to sign up with Nielsen SoundScan. You have to sign up Nielsen Sound Exchange. I'll walk you through that also. Everything, PRO, Nielsen SoundScan, Song Trust. You have to sign up with Song Trust, because you don't want to start. It's you don't want to handle your business in the end. You want to handle your business in the very beginning, because once that momentum gets to going, you really don't have time to backtrack. You don't have that time to backtrack to clean all that up, all that paperwork, wondering if your music's copywritten in Washington, D.C., wondering if you're with a PRO, wondering if you use Song Trust, Sound Exchange, SoundScan. You have to, get that stuff done, get that business done to begin with. Because, who's to say, your song won't become a hit? You put your music on a radio station, the mainstream radio station, college online radio station, it's pushing. The other radio stations pick that up, or you did some PR and press and you paid 10,000, 15,000, whatever, and they're pushing. The other major radio stations push that up from that push that you gave, and you months and months pushing, and your music's not copywritten. Problem. So you definitely want to cover that. Sound Exchange. Sound Exchange is really self-explanatory. They basically help collect the royalties. Like I said, a different type of royalty, because keep in mind there's six different types of copyrights. So you want to be able to understand on every level where your music is, what you're getting paid from. You know, keep in mind that your music is not only going to play on the US level, it's going to play on an international level. So you've got things like Deezer, Tidal, Pandora, Apple. You know, these are other avenues that feed in to Spotify. You know, these are other avenues that feed into Spotify. But keep in mind, you have Audio Mac. You know, you have Audio Mac and services also on that level. You know, DSPs, they call them, digital streaming platforms, and then you have 9. You know, so you have non-interactive, you have interactive, you have non-interactive. So if your music's out there spinning, trust and believe, each time your song is being played, there's a royalty that's supposed to be collected in your behalf. You know, it's very important. I tell artists all the time, you know, I've seen, and I've had so many artists come to me, you know, with disaster. I've heard horrible stories. I've heard, you know, horror stories, you know, but yeah, I always tell them, hey, look, man, if you don't understand what's going on, you know, you need a mentor. You need someone to give you a consultation, basically giving you the overall of how to set things up. Then do that, but do not just go in the wind, you know, thinking, okay, I'll just figure it out as I go. You want that information from the very start. Now, keep this in mind. Other information, you know, like information is like truly it's the new wealth. You know, you have to understand the value, you know, what you invest. You're not just doing music just to be doing it. You know, there's a reason, there's a purpose behind it. You know, whether you have a business, you got numerous small businesses, you got your studio in your home, you know, you got your business outside of your home, commercial wise. You know, you gotta keep in mind that you know, people, you know, it's some crooks out here. I've heard some stories, man. People stealing music. You know, you got some managers, or you got, you know, some radio stations, or you got whoever, and they're signing these artists, man, and they're just, you know, not doing them right. So, like I always tell artists, like one of the first things that I did when I formed City Boy Music Management, or City Boy Music Group LLC, was invest in an entertainment lawyer. You know, retainer. I had a lawyer on retainer. So important, because I see contracts all the time. You know, we do contracts up, but I make sure our contracts go through our lawyer. You know, like the wording has to be right. You know, I mean, they go to school for that. They understand that. You know, trust and believe. You're not going to be able to understand a contract all by yourself, just reading and thinking, okay, I got this $100,000 advance, you know, but you got to keep in mind, the contract says that you owe 5-6 albums. You sold yourself short. $100,000 for 5 or 6 albums, you know? And plus, keep in mind, that contract might be like something like you had a 360, or you had something terrible. The best I've heard is 80-20 or 70-30. Let's say you signed a terrible contract, and you know that music has you stuck, almost like a life sentence. Why do I say life sentence? Because that music doesn't revert back to you for 25, 30 years, and you only got $100,000. No. What I'm saying to independent artists, indie labels, independent artists, don't sell yourself short. Do not sell yourself short. Do not sell yourself short. This is a business. You know, you understand there's a difference between the record industry, the recording industry, and the record business. I'll say that again. There's a difference between the recording industry, and the record business. Understand the business. Once you understand the business, everything else falls into place. Keep this in mind. Keep this in mind. This is a game that's based off of networking. Networking is the key. You have to network. If you don't network, you know, that's going to do something to your business that says something about your business, you know. But when you're networking, it's about connecting the dots. You know, it's not who you know, but who knows you. Everything else, you guys need to know the information on how to LLC, how to incorporate, S Corp, C Corp. Hit me up. We'll cover everything. From this point on, we'll cover everything. We'll cover how to actually set your information up, what to do, what steps. So hit me up. From this point on, how to set up the DUNS number, what a DUNS number is, how to get your business loan, everything. cityboymusicmanagement at gmail.com. Once again, you want to hit me up, cityboymusicmanagement at gmail.com. Contact me, 815-670-9941. 815-670-9941. Hold on one second, y'all. I want to show y'all a little bit hands-on how to actually set these forms up. All right. Now, when I say, first of all, before you get to signing up these forms, filling out these forms on all these different pages, you need to understand your ISR or ISWR number, your number, you have to pull that from whatever company is your distribution company, whether it be Tidal, DistroKit, Reverb Nation, you know, any of those companies that are considered distribution companies. Grab that information. The next thing you need to do is this. Bam. BMI. You need to go to BMI. All right. BMI, ASCAP, CSAC. BMI or ASCAP, because really, if you're trying to go with CSAC, your music has to be selling at a certain level. You got to be making at least $5,000 a month. So BMI or ASCAP. Yeah, you've got your BMI. You go into your login. There's your login there. Boom. Or you sign up with that. First starting out, sign up as a songwriter. And then, you know, when you guys contact me, I'll show you hands-on how to go through all of these forms. The second one that I would recommend for you to go to after your BMI would be Song Trust. You got your Song Trust right there. The ISRC number. That's why I say you need all this information. You got to pull all this information. So you're going through, you put your title, the artist, the date, the actual label. when you get to the label abbreviation, just put independent and the distribution company. In the distribution company, put Indy. Put the ISRC, 99 cents that you want to charge. Your UPC code, type that in. The actual genre that you're in. Type your name, your email, phone number. Click verify and submit. So you just went from your distribution company to BMI. From BMI, sign up with SoundScan. From SoundScan, go to Sound Exchange. Once you go into Sound Exchange, click register. So when you go into Sound Exchange, what you want to do, boom, like so. Scroll down. It's going to take you through a process. Make sure you got your bank information, because this is the part, you know, Sound Exchange is one of those people that can, you know, actually collect money, and you know, money will go into your account. These are one of the companies that can actually collect on the royalty for you in your behalf. So it has 1, general information, 2, registration, step 3, payment information, 4, review and submit, and 5 is your membership. What you want to do right here is who you registering for. You got yourself, someone else. And what you would do is you would put yourself. And what are you registering as? You have a performer or sound recorder and a copyright owner. So what you would do is you would click both, click save, move on, go to the next page. All right. Just have to touch a little bit on that for Sound Exchange. So after you go from your PRO to BMI, you go to SoundScan, go to Sound Exchange. And after Sound Exchange, after you've done all of those steps, that's 4 steps. Here's number 5. Number 5, you go to SongTrust. Now, SongTrust, when you sign up for SongTrust, it's going to cost you $100. So, you know, pay for it electronically, pay for it with your credit card online. But basically, it's self-explanatory. You go through, join, fill out all the information. Boom, boom, boom. Scroll down, put your credit card information, put all your information in. Boom. There's your fee. As the writer, $100. Boom. Submit payment, complete registration. Now, those are the 5 key steps that you guys need to go through. All right. Grab your information from your PRO, the ISRW, all of that. ISRC, all that information. When you're signing up, go to BMI, write all this information down. You get your ITI number, all of that, because you're going to need all this information when you go to Sound Exchange and SongTrust. All right. You're going to need it for when you go to all of them. So write all that information down as far as your ITI, your ISRW, ISRC, those numbers. Then when you go to SongTrust, you know, you're going to need it again. So like I said, all of that information has to line up. If you're putting different numbers or you're putting your different name and all of that stuff's not the same on each platform that you sign up for, that's the main reason why you will not collect your money. That would be one of the main reasons why the money will never make it to you, because you know your information is not lining up. It's not lining up perfect. It has to be lined up perfect. All right. That's what it is, y'all. So I just wanted to give y'all a little bit. Like I said, you want to contact me, you know, email cityboymusicmanagement@gmail.com. Once again, cityboymusicmanagement@gmail.com, or contact me 815-670-9941. 815-670-9941. You know, you're an artist, you need to be on a podcast or platform or any type of radio station, contact me. We've got our own podcast. Radio stations, I've got connections to other radio stations. You need a publicist, you know, we've got connections to publicists, all of that. We're also a booking agent. We do graphic work, we do graphic design. You know, we don't just consult, we do a lot of things. We offer a lot of services. So, you know, you guys need help, you know, setting up your music, you know, reach out. That's what we're here for. Once again, y'all, it's your boy Jay Sway, City Boy Music Management, City Boy Music Group, LLC. You dig what I'm saying? Let's get it. And on that note, we out.